So, by process of elimination, you can guess who the number one is, but before I can actually talk about them, I want to talk to you for real. I'm gonna drop the funny man persona for a bit, and just be the actual me for once, because you're gonna need some context for this one. You see, 2019 sucked. Before the year even started, my dad got sick. Like, really sick. And when we went to the doctors to see what it was, they found that it was a tumor in his brain that was slowly growing, and needed to be removed immediately. By all miracles, he survived, but not without some huge costs, which I don't think I want to go into right now. Also at this time, I just finished college, and after my family had all of that dropped on us, one could say it was very overwhelming to say the least. It felt like my life hit a bunch of roadblocks that I've never thought I had to deal with, along with trying to be an actual adult. I didn't know what to do, and my anxiety was at an all-time high. So, at that point, I tried to find some ways to escape for the time being, and Smash Brothers was one of them. I kept my head into Ultimate's progression, and I even got into the speculation scene. But really, all I did was hope and think about characters that I wanted to be added into the game, with one character in particular being one that was pretty adamant about. I will say this, despite the fact that the roster had so many cool additions, don't get me wrong, I never felt that there was that one character that made me so passionate and joyful like I felt throughout the game's series, characters such as Meta Knight, or Bowser, or even Mega Man. I never really got that in Ultimate at that point, and after everything in my life going so awry, I just needed something. Then come June 11th, 2019, and the Nintendo E3 Direct was going live. And at the 38-minute and 20-second mark, I was faced with the one thing I needed the most at that time. And it was a cartoon bear and bird that I haven't seen in years, that made me feel like things were going to be okay. Hey, you two. It's been so long. That's right, Banjo-Kazooie has finally returned after 10 years since their last game, and 19 years since they've been on a Nintendo console, and they're back! Oh my god, they're back! Like I said in the beginning of this list, I'm a Nintendo kid, and the first console I ever had was... And even though the lineup of games I owned were Smash, Mario, Pokemon, and a handful of licensed games, I also rented my fair share of games, because that was a thing back then. And the one that I fondly remember was Banjo-Tooie. Oh yeah, and I also owned Diddy Kong Racing, so I doubly know who Banjo was. But there's no denying that these two characters were practically icons of the N64, with the first game truly defining what a 3D collectathon was, and the second game, while not being on the same level of quality as the first one, managed to up the ante of what the N64 can do with more content added. And you know what? It makes me nostalgic just thinking about it. I mean, you fight a shaman Terminator, what's not to love? At that point, it felt like Banjo-Kazooie were gonna be thick and thin under the Nintendo banner, and hopefully see a grand amount of love as an associate, similar to what the Xenoblade franchise is getting right now. And then Microsoft happened. Yes, Rare Studios, the people behind Banjo-Kazooie and other titles, was bought by Bill Gates in a move that, with modern-day context, is terrifyingly foreshadowing. And it was here where things started to turn for the Baron Bird, as they would later release two middling Game Boy Advance titles, the very divisive Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and then nothing for 10 years. And with that, the Banjo IP was left in a sarcophagus as Rare began changing, with all the original staff members leaving the company, and at the time, Rare was primarily focused on Connect sports games. Yeah, there was no sugarcoating this. The game was over. As beloved as these two were, they were never coming back. This was the reality of things. Just another icon lost to time. No, this was it! The mythical Smash Ballot was where it was at, where we could yell at Nintendo discreetly and actually get something out of it without looking like a huge prick. And yeah, I kind of cheated by submitting 4 different characters for this ballot, but one of them was for our boys. And wait, hold up. The president of Microsoft Gaming is promoting the idea for Banjo getting in? Is this our chance? Are we finally gonna get the happy ending we always wanted? Well, I'm a little bitter over this. Oh my god! We finally did it! After so many years of trying to get anything, I never thought this would be possible! Banjo and Kazooie are in Super Smash Bros. And oh, they look good! They look like an HD update of their N64 renders, thank Christ! It wasn't this! This is an abomination! And oh my god, they brought Grant Kirkhope on board to do a song! The Spiral Mountain remix is just the greatest homage to the duo! Yoko Shinomura, the goddess of gaming OSTs, also did a remix of Treasure Trove Cove! This is delicious! Oh, sad there's no grunty battle, but hey, 100 out of 10 is still good! And oh, Spiral Mountain! It's beautifully remade for this game! You're wrong, JonTron! Mountains can be friends! Sure, it gives you a little vertigo, but it's jam-packed with references galore! Tootie! You've been missing since the first game! Where the hell have you been? And then you get the presentation where Sakurai was just very morbid for no apparent reason, and it was great. He also went on to go say play Banjo-Kazooie on the Xbox. Are you allowed to say that? Oh, who cares, you beautiful bastard! Oh, and then you got the moves, baby! Kazooie can shoot her eggs out for butt and mouth, that can't be healthy. You can use the gun mode from the first-person minigames. They added the invincible feathers as a move. Their run is just the Talon Trot, and his final smash is the fucking Ginginator! And of course his victory theme is an orchestral remake of the Jiggy theme. I'm so happy! And you know what? This entire list was mainly based on my own opinions on the characters or franchise, and not if I play them against the sea of veteran fighters. Mainly cause I don't play every character, and I wanted this list to feel fair. These guys are my mains. Look, I begged for them, so I'm sticking with them until the very end, because I am not a complete pussy. Because so what if they're low to mid on the tier list? It's Banjo and Kazooie. So what if they lack a real gimmick like most of the DLC characters? It's Banjo and Kazooie! And so what if their moveset is not up to the standards of the competitive scene? It's Banjo-Kazooie! This was my childhood, man, and it came at a time where I needed them the most. And this here is just the true beauty of Super Smash Bros. It's a franchise where you can see stupid shit like Ganondorf getting one-shot by Jigglypuff, and it's a game where it can introduce people to games that they might never have heard of before. But it's also a game franchise that is incredibly magical, where it can make the impossible possible. So whatever character that was added in that somehow made your day, whether it be Steve, Sora, Joker, Ridley, K. Rool, Byleth even, I hope it gave you the same amount of joy and, goddammit, hope that I got from these Scrimlo Bimblo cartoon characters. And if that character hasn't been added in yet, then don't give up the fight, man. Even if your character just seems like it's a legal nightmare or obscure or whatever excuse the internet likes to make up, don't let it bog down on your hopes. But, you know, also don't be a dick about it. We need to be better than Wait, they go by X now? Well, this is gonna make the list awkward. Because let's face it, this is a weird world we live in where the future has not been written. I mean, Bubsy came back. There's a new Toxic Crusader game and movie coming out by the time of this recording. There is now 2 Super Mario RPG remakes, and Banjo-Kazooie made it into Smash after 10 years of silence. So who knows what the future holds? Maybe this is the start of the Baron Bird's comeback. Maybe all we get is this and Banjo-Kazooie being ported to Switch Online. Heck, I'm not even certain if they're gonna come back in the next game. If there even is a next game. But as of now, let's just live in the moment and find joy where it counts. And to me, it's with 2 old friends finally reuniting with everyone after all these years. Banjo and Kazooie. Welcome home. And thanks. I needed this. So, that was my very long list on the characters of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This was a Herculean task, not gonna lie. But I'm kind of glad I finally got this out. I really wanted to do something like this, and I'm just happy I was able to make it. Even if it's my terrible opinion, according to the internet. And if you want, you can post your top 5 favorite characters in the comments. You don't have to go overboard like your favorite schmuck here, but that's up to you, man. And hey, maybe I'll do another top whatever or something else like this. I got a couple of ideas circulating in my mind palace, and I don't know, maybe I'll try something out. Also, by contractual obligation, I must ask you to like this video, comment, and subscribe if you want. And that I actually do other videos besides this, and I think they're pretty funny. And you know what? I've been rambling this entire time, so I'm just gonna go take a pee and go to sleep. Okay, bye-bye.